Melbourne. Look at these.
Hey viewers, welcome back to our channel.
The last time we left you, we were drinking beers in sunny Melbourne. But the weather hadn't always been like that. And well, a few days earlier, this had happened.
So we just got a notification that our Spirit of Tasmania ferry has been cancelled due to bad weather, but I don't know what bad weather they're talking about.
It's lovely.
This is beautiful weather. Our planned trip to Tasmania was cancelled, but this did mean that we had some extra time on our hands.
So we headed south out of Melbourne and unexpectedly found some of the finest scenery and best beaches that we have come across anywhere in Australia.
Here is what happened along the way. Good morning, it is the 18th of October. We are now over halfway from our time in Australia and we are on our way out of Melbourne, which we're both very, very sad about. Neither of us have been that upset about leaving a place compared to right now, so we're both feeling a bit down and a bit glum. So we're going to nurse our wounds and drown our sorrows in a hot spring. It's a very tough life living.
As we drove south, we spotted a few vineyards along the way.
What do we want?
Wine!
Where do we want it?
Wine!
Oh, that didn't work very well, did it?
Welcome to Alba Thermal Springs and Spa. Because, you know, we're really stressed and we've earned it.
This place is 4 days old. There's no one here.
Oh, you can smell the sulphur, can't you?
Smell the sulphur. They have the softest dressing gowns ever.
And you're about to see just how warm and luxurious it is.
Oh, it's so warm.
We will see you in 6 hours. Mornington Peninsula. We like it. Have you ever seen love like that on Lauren's face?
Have you seen the caramel on my side?
And relax.
After a wonderfully relaxing afternoon, we headed back to our campsite for the night.
Good morning. We are in Mornington. At 100. Yeah, good Mornington, very good. At 100 kilometres south of Melbourne on the Mornington Peninsula. And we are out for a much needed little morning jog before we get on with the day. Welcome to Mornington Beach. And this is really stunning. Really, really stunning. If you were to follow the coastline off in that direction, you'd hit Melbourne, about 80 kilometres away. You can't see it at the moment. But what a spot for a morning cup of coffee whilst Lauren goes and gets her hair done.
After a wander around Mornington's market, Josh took me to see the beach. We then got back into the van and kept heading south.
Sad to be leaving the Mornington Peninsula as soon as we are.
Look at some of these properties.
Welcome to Wilsons Promontory. Look at this. Is that not about the most stunning vista you could hope to see? Yeah, I'd pull over for a photo as well. Wow. What's up from Norman Beach, which is awesome, minus the plague of school children. We have driven 3 hours?
Couple of hours.
3 hours, about 200 and something kilometers. We are at Wilsons Prom, which is towards the most southern tip of Australia. The beach is...
It's so soft.
It's
the sand.
golden silky
is
sand.
so soft.
And we are going to lie in the sun for a few hours and chill.
And the mood ruiners.
This is evenings in the camper van.
This is cruel, they've just woken up.
Lauren's been having a nap on my shoulder whilst I've been watching the TV show she wanted to watch. We are using our bed, but as a couch. We've put all our cushions on the side of the wall. We've got lots of Netflix downloaded, which is good because there's no internet here. And soon it's time for sleep. But it's been a nice day. It's been a chill day. Oh dear me. We've been to 2 beaches today. And we've had some wine. And I had a beer on the beach.
Maybe that's why I'm sleepy, I have wine.
Yeah. 2 glasses of wine and she's out. Margaret River alumni
Why did I
right
not
now.
know this? I could have had 2 glasses when we first landed in Perth.
Maybe. Anyway, from us, good night. Morning. It's Thursday the 20th of October. We've just driven up to this car park and we are going up that. Mount Oberon. It is 3.9 kilometers or 1 hour and 15 minutes to the summit. This here is my co-host and fellow bushranger, Lauren Dom. Any words? No. She's very excited. We are 920 meters in and we have been going for 11 minutes and we've gained 98 meters, not bad. Beautiful up there.
Oh.
Look at this. How sensationally pristine, picture perfect and amazing is that? That's one of the very best views I've ever seen in my life. Hello from the summit of Mount Oberon in Wilsons Prom National Park. And down there is the southernmost tip of Australia. So if you go like 4,000 kilometres that way, you'll hit Cape Leeuwin, where we were 3 or 4 weeks ago. A bit more now. But this coastline and this view, absolutely magical. I did want to go down there and stand over there, but you need a 4-wheel drive car to do the road, which we don't have. And if you want to walk it, it's 40 kilometres return, which we're probably not doing. But there it is, the southernmost tip of Australia. Fantastic. We made our way back down and headed to our next stop for the day. We are on Squeaky Beach.
Wonder how it gets its name.
The sand here is quartz, and for whatever reason, it makes it squeak when you walk on it, which is quite funny. It's very cold, like really freaking freezing cold. We seem to have gone from perfect clear blue skies to cloud creeping its way over the mountain. It's really dramatic. It's just slowly sinking down over the top. Looks like an avalanche coming down the mountain. Crazy.
We made our way out of Wilsons Prom in search for some old friends.
You'll remember our friend Steve and Sharon, who we've run into non-stop throughout the trip. Well, Steve is in that grey Range Rover up there. We have been calling and texting, just go straight to his voicemail, no response. So we stopped in Foster, which is where we knew they lived, walked into the Visitor Information Centre, and they weren't in the phone book, but they said, look, just ask around. And the first person that we stopped and said, excuse me, do you know Steve and Sharon? Said, yes, they live next door. So we are going to go and have a Kiva cuddle.
Who's back? Hi, gorgeous. Hey. So you'll see Kiva in the background, which means we are back with Steve and Sharon.
Steve and Sharon live in the most fantastic house, built on a 100-acre farm, with views out over the peninsula and the Prom. We started with a little tour around the property.
Quite happily accepting the sexism here while the men go and clear the tree while I stay nice and dry. It's like what can only be described as a glamorized golf buggy. Wow!
Look at that.
So many! Yeah, they just jump over the fence. Wow!
That's incredible. Dozens of them.
So many of them.
The fence is not relevant if you're a kangaroo.
No, it's not.
Wowee.
The little ones struggle, they tend to go under, they find a little hole where they can get underneath.
We caught up over a few drinks, taking shelter from the rain in a small shack they built in the woods.
Don't spin us out.
We're on the way back, and Lauren's in the back, holding on for dear bloody life.
Oh, that's so
It's alright, we're doing okay. Kiva doesn't seem to mind too much, does she?
doesn't mind, she thinks it's
She's having a great time. She's got 4-paw drive though, so that's cheating.
Oh, that's funny.
Lauren looks less sure. Hold on!
Hold on for dear life.
She actually fits quite nicely in the back.
Huh?
Kiva. Is it
How
cute when
alert she is.
I love it so much.
We ended up staying with Steve and Sharon for 3 nights, which involved a lot of Kiva cuddles and frisbee, which we weren't too sad about.
On the third night, we were invited to dinner with some of their lovely friends who get together every few weeks to eat, drink and play some music.
Oh, Ned, you're better off dead. At least you get some peace of mind. They're out on the back, they're out on your back, and boy, they're gonna hang you high. After a few glasses of wine, I may have admitted to the fact that, well, I also know how to play the guitar.
That'd be silly jumps.
Just burst your lips and whistle, that's the thing. And always look on the road side alone. Always look on the road side alone. On a dark desert highway, going in my head. One step can lead us, rising up through the air.
After 3 wonderful days and having banked some new friends for life, it was time to move on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
It is Monday the 24th of October which means we now have less than a month until we give this van back in Brisbane, which is terrifying. We have had the most fabulous 3 nights with Steve and Sharon at their wonderful farm in Foster. Now the time has come to start making our way towards Canberra. Aside from a bit of rain and a quick stop at a really nice place called Lakes Entrance, day 1 was thankfully pretty uneventful. The river is extremely high, there's a lot of flooding around, look at that.
Literally just come out of the loo and there are 5 kangaroos just having their dinner. Brilliant. Certainly don't get this back in the UK. Look how cute they are.
And with that, we settle down for the night.
Good morning. It is Tuesday the 25th of October and we are on our way to Canberra today.
What? There's nothing there.
It wasn't a very good night's sleep. Because the rain obviously is back. And I don't really have any other words. Good morning.
I'm sorry, mate.
Good morning. It's a beautiful day.
Even the locals don't like the fucking weather.
These poor kangaroos are absolutely soaked. They don't seem to mind so much. Another beautiful morning in paradise. He was not
Every day of my life, I work till I hit the ball. At the end of the day, I thought we'd come for a year in sunny Australia.
somebody, somebody, can anybody find me?
For the sunshine? I don't know if it's because we're driving towards politicians in Canberra, but the storm's coming. We're lucky if we make it through this without a flooded road sending us the wrong way somewhere. We're on the A1, which is the main highway that does a ring around Australia. So the road should be alright, but this could be an adventure, this one. Right.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to be a river.
That is not supposed to be that bad.
Hey, we're in New South Wales! Woo! That's awesome! We made it to New South Wales! Look how massively these rivers have all burst their banks. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to be a river down there.
Also, bonus added water features.
I think New South Wales is starting to show off just how beautiful she is. Look at that. So, Steve and Sharon kept talking about high country, and I didn't really get it until now. We've been driving for about 2.5 hours so far. We're about 200 kilometers north of the coast, maybe a little bit less, but we are currently, according to my watch, at 1212 meters altitude, which is higher than the top of Bluff Knoll was in Stirling Range National Park. So we are well and truly up in the clouds up here, and it's really beautiful. But it explains why there's so much water downstream towards where we started this morning, because there's just everything that falls on this part of the country ends up down that way. Really beautiful though.
After a pretty appalling day of driving, we made it to Canberra. We parked up the van and went straight out for a drink. To this really fun jazz bar as recommended by a friend. We've ordered a sandwich with some chips. However, this is not a chip, Australia.
Oh, it's too dark. Can't even show you. Good evening from Canberra. We are in our campsite. It's just north of the city, a nice easy train ride in. It's been a travel day. It's been a very, very wet day. It was hammering down on us relentlessly whilst we were driving here, so what should have been a 4-hour drive was more like a 6-hour drive. But we went into town, we had a little walk. It was hammering on us, so we hid in a shopping centre for an hour. And when it stopped raining, we made our way to a bar that got recommended, which was really good fun, and I had a couple of beers and listened to a bit of jazz. And now we are having some dinner. We've got 2 days to see Canberra, and I am very excited. I think Lauren is less excited because she doesn't love constantly tramping around museums and galleries, but I do. So let's go see all the good stuff whilst we're here, and then it will be onwards towards Sydney, possibly by the Blue Mountains, but subject to weather and the roads. But the weather forecast for Sydney is really good, so we might just go straight there. See you in a bit.
Next time on the Doms Down Under.
Do we think Lauren can get the ball through the hoop, viewers? This is the Pool of Reflection. The Australian Parliament Building.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. If you haven't already done so, please remember to hit that subscribe button in the top right hand corner of the screen. We're almost at 50 subscribers.